Hi, this is Lakshmi Chaudhry, founder and editor of Splainer.in, the host of What the Happened Here. Starting today, we're getting rid of the daily format and moving to 2 editions a week. Think more depth, more variety, more fun. Today, we look at whether BJP can really go Char Paar and the quirky history of the Met Gala. We'll also be honored with the latest trend in fashion, the Susu stained jeans. Last not least, excellent records for what to watch this weekend. Everyone knows the BJP will win the election. The only question is, by how much? Will it be some insane size majority? And if NDA does manage to cross 400, can it change the constitution? As with all things in Rajniti, there is way too much hype and too little facts in the Char Paar debate. Back in January, the BJP unveiled a catchy new slogan, Tisri Baar Modi Sarkar, Ab Ki Baar 400 Paar. What began as a boast soon sounded like a dhamki. The opposition started screaming wolf, claiming the BJP wants a brute majority to brutalize the constitution and more scarily, junk all reservations. Okay, time for a reality check. None of that can happen irrespective of how many Lok Sabha seats any party wins. There are 3 ways to amend the constitution. The most appropriate method depends on what is being changed. The easiest method requires a simple majority in both houses of parliament. This is good enough for changes like redrawing boundaries of states. This is also how the government downgraded Kashmir from state to union territory and made Ladakh a separate UT. More serious changes require a special majority in both houses. So the BJP will need a 2/3 majority of everyone who is present and voting in the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. And the most sweeping changes need a special majority and have to be ratified by at least 50% of the states. In other words, 400 Paar in the Lok Sabha doesn't do much if the NDA only has 97 seats in the Rajya Sabha. In fact, the party is 4 seats short of the 50% mark. So 2/3 majority is a dur ki baat. But, there's plenty the BJP can do with simple majorities in both houses, like getting rid of Delhi's legislature entirely. All it'll take is 4 seats in the Rajya Sabha. Now that we've sorted out that little fact, let's move on to the issue of feasibility. Most opinion polls give the NDA a monster majority, anywhere from 330 to 390 seats. NDTV's poll of polls, which looked at the results of 9 surveys, put the number at 365. That's a 2/3 majority. Let's look at the big picture. The 2019 electoral results look something like this. The BJP won 303 seats, of which 185 were in the Hindi belt. Its vote share in this region was eye-watering. 58% in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, 50.7% in Chhattisgarh, and an eye-popping 60% in Haryana. South India, not so impressive. In the 5 states plus Pondicherry, the BJP only won 29 out of 129 seats. And most of these seats came from Karnataka, where it won 25 out of 28 seats. Modi's goal is 400 for the NDA and 370 for the BJP. To reach the magic number, the BJP will have to keep what it won in the Hindi heartland and expand into new territories. NDA will have to gain 48 seats compared to 2019, and BJP will need another 67. How's that going to happen? Well, it's such a lambi kahani, you'll have to wait until Monday to find out. We promise you lots of interesting numbers and lots of charts. The New York Met Gala is such a weird event. Everyone dresses up for no goddamn reason, lots of photos are taken, and that's it. There are no awards, even though it's called the Oscars of fashion. It's not a movie premiere or a brand launch. So why does the Met Gala even exist? The story starts in a single department of the Metropolitan Museum called the Costume Institute. Until 1948, it was underfunded and mostly ignored. That's when a socialite named Eleanor Lambert started an annual midnight supper to raise money. And that's all it was for decades, until former Vogue editor Diana Vreeland came along in 1973. Vreeland decided to raise money by putting on a show. Her very first exhibit, The World of Balenciaga, was a blockbuster hit, though I'm personally more partial to the one titled Romantic and Glamorous Hollywood Design. In 1999, she was replaced by the devil who wears Prada, Anna Wintour. She has taken the Met Gala to stratospheric heights in terms of clout, spectacle, and relevance. It's become the buzziest and most anticipated global event, at least amongst those who care about celebs and what they wear. And that's why some like designer Tom Ford complain that the Met turned into a costume party. He says it used to just be very chic people wearing very beautiful clothes to go to an exhibition about the 18th century. You didn't have to look like the 18th century. You didn't have to dress like a hamburger. You didn't have to arrive in a van where you were standing up because you couldn't sit down because you wore a chandelier. Speaking of which, here's a classic Met story. Back in 2019, Anna Wintour kept asking her friend to politely go tell Kim Kardashian to sit down. Turns out poor Kimmy couldn't sit down because her bespoke latest theory muggler dress was too goddamn tight. The truth is that the Met Gala is no longer a glorious celebration of either art or fashion. It's a grand pop culture feast that celebrates everything that is quote unquote it. The thing that matters right here, right now, be it a YouTube influencer or politician or a brand. Kinda like Alia Bhatt. We end this Friday edition with our weekend watch list as usual. Our top 3 picks of what's new in theatres or on streaming. First up, The Boy and the Heron. The fabulous anime flick from Japanese director Hayao Miyazaki has finally been released in theatres in India. We beg you, run to the nearest mall. By the way, it won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Next, All of Us Strangers. The movie is now available on Disney Hotstar. It's loosely based on a 1987 horror novel by Taichi Yamada titled Strangers. It's about Naya Pyar, old traumas, and of course, ghosts. The Guardian calls it a raw and potent piece of storytelling that grabs you by the heart and doesn't let go. And finally, Murder in Mahim. We can't resist a good murder mystery. This one is based on a 2017 novel by Jerry Pinto. It follows a cop and his journal buddy who investigate the murder of a young man found in the washroom of a railway station. The reviews aren't in yet, but we love Vijay Raj and Ashutosh Rana, and the plot sounds excellent. Murder in Mahim is streaming on Jio Cinema. Remember when your parents roll their eyes at your ripped or distressed jeans? We suggest sending them a link to the fabulous $600 Stain Stonewash from Jordan Luca. It's a polite name for jeans with a massive stain on the crotch, so it looks like you peed your pants, because that's such a good look. In fact, a lighter hue of the pants has already sold out. This one just looks like a laundry fail. So that's it for today. Tune in on Tuesday to find out what the you missed over the weekend. And if you miss us, grab a free 1-month subscription to Splainer. We will totally change the way you see news, we promise. The link is in the description. One more thing, we're still figuring out this format, so we totally need your feedback to get this right. See you in the comments and on the show next week.